Hi everyone, it's Helene at Greek Mommy Cooks. Today I'm making one of my favorite recipes, domadas, or you can also call them yaprekia, depending on what region in Greece that you're from. Between my husband and I, we're from the island of Rhodos and Kos. So they're basically a wonderful grape leaf that is stuffed with rice, herbs, and meat. If you're fasting for Lent, you can only do the rice and the herbs. So let's get started. So I have all my wonderful ingredients here that I need for my stuffed grape leaves. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of chopping because everything is fresh. I have my fresh herbs, I have my dill, I have some parsley, some green onions, regular onions, zucchini, and tomatoes, and of course some lemon. So I need to take the skin off of my zucchini. So I like to put zucchini in the yaprekia because it locks in a lot of moisture. And I'm going to chop these into little tiny chunks. So I have my zucchini all chopped in little pieces, and I need to get some herbs and onions all chopped up on my cutting board. So I have about a half a bunch of fresh parsley that I need to chop and some dill. I really like using fresh herbs, but sometimes you can't use fresh herbs all year, so you can have dried herbs going into this recipe. I have some mint from my in-laws' garden that I'm going to use that they dried, so that will not be fresh, but the parsley and the dill I found at the supermarket that's fresh. I have about a quarter bunch of green onions, but I'm also going to use a white onion. You really want to give your stuffed grape leaves a lot of flavor. You just want to add everything into a large bowl for when you mix everything together. This is optional. You don't have to have dill in your yaprekia, but I love it, so I add a little bit, and so did my Yaya Helen. She always put a ton of dill in all of her recipes, and they were always so flavorful. So now that I've got the dill chopped up, it's going to be added to the mixture. And the final thing to be chopped and saved later are the tomato slices. The reason I'm using tomato slices is because I'm going to be putting them in the bottom of my pot once I boil the stuffed grape leaves after I roll them. They prevent the pot and grape leaves from burning. And then they taste wonderful because they have all the flavor that has soaked to the bottom in the tomatoes. So the next ingredient to go in the mixture is rice. I prefer to use parboiled rice, which is a little bit pre-boiled, because you can use hard rice, but you have to make sure it all cooks in the grape leaf once you have it on the pot. And there's nothing worse than having a stuffed grape leaf and biting into rice that is not fully cooked. So that's just my way. Some people just put raw rice in here, but I prefer to use the parboiled. So the final ingredient is going to be about a pound of ground beef. And like I said, if you're fasting for Lent or you're vegetarian, you do not have to add this. But I'm going to add it, and I just mix everything really well with my hands. There is one last thing to add to the mixture. I almost forgot, but the dried mint. I just add about a teaspoon, and then I mix it all good with the meat mixture, and I'm ready to wrap my grape leaves. So I do want to talk about the grape leaves a little bit. These are from my in-laws' garden. I'm very fortunate to have these. They were grown this summer and picked and then washed and blanched. However, if you don't have the opportunity to get fresh grape leaves like this, you can get the jarred kind or canned at the grocery store or a local deli. So I'm going to wrap them, and I use about a tablespoonful of the mixture, and I place it at the base of the grape leaf, and I have the veiny side up. And then I just do one roll up, and I do the right side and then the left side, and roll tightly up through the middle and make, like, you could say it looks like a little cigar. And you don't want to make them too short. You have to have it have a little bit of length so they look nice. I roll about at least 40 to 50 grape leaves to make it worth my while, and then I put them in the pot and boil them for about 45 minutes. Now that I have the domadas all neatly rolled in their little cigar rolls, I'm ready to boil them. So now I need to prep my pot for the grape leaves to go in. I like to line the bottom of the pot with tomato slices to prevent the grape leaves from burning and lock in all that moisture. And then the flavor of the tomatoes at the end is phenomenal because all the flavorings of the grape leaves soak down to the bottom of the pot. You can use a bigger pot, but since I have about 30 grape leaves, this is perfect. So I'm going to be putting the grape leaves in tight little rows inside of this copper pot. So I'm adding a little bit more water to the top of the grape leaves because I am going to bring this to a boil. And then a nice tab of butter goes on top. And I sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice into the water. And to make sure they stay down really tightly, I put a little plate and press down over the top of the grape leaves. And then I cover it a little bit open and bring it to a boil for about 45 minutes to an hour. The grape leaves are done. They're straight from the pot and I've placed them with lemon slices. It's a really authentic meal and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching Greek Mommy Cooks.